Okay people, this anime series has gone downhill to the point where I don't think that many will probably give much care about this final episode. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is action in it and some of the good music from its soundtrack is here. In fact, maybe this final episode could have been completely saved if it used most of the good music from its soundtrack, then I would have been all over this. But no, we get our final battle and the conclusion and quite a number of forced moments. So in episode 26 of Aquarion Logos, Subete and Akira fight because, well, this episode didn't really remind us of why they were fighting in the first place, so when Maya said that those two are fighting because they're both idiots, well, that's all we had to go on, so we believe her. So the fight takes place in the real world with Subete and Akira's mechs, and all is spectacular in the sky. Apparently the battle draws everybody's attention, which is meaningful. It's a meaningful thing according to Sakurako, but I don't think it's very meaningful at all. Yeah, people text about it, but so what, Sakurako? Anyway, Subete and Akira then fight in space. All the while watching that epic battle, I'm reminded of how cool looking the battles are in this anime, to be honest, even though they are ridiculous and they happen for ridiculous reasons. Finally, Akira and Subete fight hand to hand on the Earth itself. It was kind of forced that Subete somehow forced Akira out the way and Subete turned into the Logos world to save the Earth, even though the Earth didn't really look like it was in that much danger in the first place. But oh well, somebody had to die to close up this anime, and it turned out to be Subete. He was dying from his body being unable to cope with his verbalism power, let's not forget. Then there's two really forced moments where Kokone randomly decides to move away for some reason, and Akira and Maya kiss. There is this moment of closure that did really work though. The part where Akira is no longer a quote-unquote savior because Subete took that role when he sacrificed himself, that made total sense. It was actually a satisfying way to close such a bizarre character like Akira. And yes, I could not believe my eyes when Subete's mech, Aquarion Logos, turned into a car. A car? What the heck? I know, it sounds like I hate this episode. I thought it was okay actually, but at this point in the series I'm really exhausted after nothing much happened in the whole of the final act, and all the forced moments, Subete's mech car included, was really distracting from the attempted epicness of the final episode. I will expand more on my thoughts on Aquarion Logos as a whole in my full series review, which should come out after New Year's sometime, but as for final thoughts on the series in the here and now, I loved the character development of the genuinely interesting characters that we got, and the majority of the music was awesome, and whenever there was a good episode, there was a good episode. Unfortunately, the setup for this anime is ridiculous, but the anime never really expands on all that ridiculousness, and the mecha battles were confusing at first, and the second act unfortunately abandoned the character development, leaving very little substance for the final act. It's one of those anime that starts off pretty good, but it falls apart as it goes along, with the odd really good episode dropped in here and there. It worked when it was a character focused anime, but it did not work when it was a plot focused anime, plot in quotation marks there. I would recommend people would just watch the first half of this anime, but when Master Sugon dies, skip the rest of the series.